Okay, so we're gonna talk about Mara stock. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin, and it's a very, very important time to not overthink these these assets as they continue to fluctuate with this FOMC meeting coming up soon. Now, like I said, there's no reason to overthink. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna explain these charts now that we have a bit more price action. We're getting closer to that date. The charts are making a lot more sense to me. I'm going to explain things both on Bitcoin and Mara. And today there's a really, really good example on something I've been talking about recently with Mara that just, happened. If you guys are wondering about the BitU position as well, I have not made any transactions on it as of market close today. The position is flat. The moment, and it's still 30K invested. The moment I make another transaction, I'll show you guys what it looks like. But guys, let's be super clear about a few things. First, as well, is potential fear in online. A lot of potential fear that Bitcoin is showing signs of a bull market top. I mean, there's a lot of people talking about it, but here's the thing: there is a lot more Bitcoin being bought up. I mean, there's so much. There's articles everywhere. Like there's fear, and then there's articles like Tesla dumped 75% of its Bitcoin holdings. Then there's a lot more. There's bullish stuff and bearish stuff all over the place. It doesn't matter. But here's the thing, right? If we just look at this, and if you guys can open up yourself, I'm just using Glassnode. I just like the way their website looks. But there is continuation of the remaining supply still decreasing. There's a lot more, even though a lot of Bitcoin is being put back into supply from selling. There's a lot more that is being bought up than sold, and eventually this circulating supply would eventually become completely horizontal. It's basically there. It's like there's no reason for us to be feared. The Bitcoin supply and demand is incredibly strong, and then on top of that is like, why would we be starting a bear cycle? And this is my opinion. I could be absolutely wrong, but not looking at any technical analysis, not looking at any of that. If we are we're almost done with July. If we are in July, towards the end of it in 2025, and you have a lot more, interest rate, Fed cut fears that it's not going to happen, or at least it's not going to happen sooner rather than later. The thing is, at the end of the day, a lot of these tariffs and inflation fears are not going to last forever. Eventually, there will be some negotiations that are done. This will help out a lot, and then eventually the Fed will cut rates regardless. I mean, there's a lot of shifts and changes that will be coming up soon in the Fed, as you guys know, with new you know titles being swapped over to someone else. It just There's gonna be rate cuts. The U.S. cannot maintain its debts if it can't print more money, and it's very difficult to print money if rates stay at their current elevated points, right? So it's like it's gonna happen. It just has to happen. It's the way the system is set up. So this, it's gonna happen, which means there's gonna be a lot of money flowing into these risk-on assets, in my opinion, and we'll continue to see one more good leg up to try to max out this bullish fib extension that we broke into not too long ago, and that alone see momentum break into it, and momentum is holding. I mean, I would have thought Bitcoin would have come down below it briefly and go to around 110K by now, and is actually holding pretty well. So it's like, I'm very much convinced that we're going to be going much higher later this year, and I plan to just be mostly out of taking aggressive long positions. The moment we reach into this meeting area, and then I'll take small long positions, continuing to take small trades for the potential of the to see if the price reaches into this area. But if we start seeing a lot of dovishness and a lot of positive, I mean, we can break this area very easily. But I'm just trying to be very conservative because you know, I'm not anymore easily influenced by FOMO. I'm just trying to stay realistic. So here's the thing, right? Now that we have more price action. It gives us more information. We know that Bitcoin is holding this area very, very well. At this point, the RSI doesn't really matter too much because we've been trading sideways for a while now. With this being said, here's what I'm doing, and nothing has changed. And there's no reason to overthink anything. So I'm gonna give you guys very clear um price movements that make sense to me and how I plan to take advantage of this. So I've been showing you guys this extension area up here as an alternative scenario. We can, now that we have this more movement, we can sort of overlap this with multiple multiple uh ways of looking at it, and a lot of this is just overlapping information. It all just makes sense the same. I'm going to be using a few different um fib extensions here, and none of these are wrong, none of these are right, but it just shows that even if I factor in three different fluctuations to give the potential for a bullish fake out, they all overlap in the same area. I'm gonna leave this one up. This one right here. I'm gonna leave this one up. Like, they all overlap in the same area. So this is one potential scenario where we see, because still we're getting close to that Fed meeting and we're just seeing price movement sideways. Now, there is the possibility of us seeing an increase in volume and a breakout in either direction before this happens. But here's the thing: as of right now, with the anticipation, the expectations that the Fed is just going to hold rates steady and they're going to say what they've been saying for a while, which is we're just going to look for more evidence that inflation will not get worse due to the CPI report that came out recently, and it's just going to be a lot of that. And you could potentially even say, well, as of right now, I mean, if it doesn't get worse, we could still be potentially on track to seeing a rate or two cut later this year. But regardless, right, as of right now, we don't know what he's going to say. But with that being said, realistically, I do believe that I'm going to give you guys two scenarios and what the the can cause me to change them. So basically, as of right now, I'm looking for still the possibility, because we haven't broken any swing lows. We're holding pretty well. So here's the thing, and we're still holding above this ascending support line. So if we continue to see fluctuations and to the upside, if we see that prior to the FOMC, or even if this pumps up just after he announces what he's going to announce, so it's before or at the moment, it doesn't matter. If we see the price go up into this area, I'm going to be very much likely looking to sell out of my BitU swing trade earlier than expected, due to the potential of a bullish fake out. It can be price anticipation going up higher because the market's already expecting something is very realistic, in my opinion. So we can just see the price go up higher, retest the swing high. It'll be in this area. And then from there, a sell and use event, and we go down. Or it continues to fluctuate sideways, and the news happens. And then there's like a super quick reaction, and we see a sharp bullish fake out instead of a gradual one. Either way, both of these will lead to a sell and use event, whatever, and we come down and we finally have that important area to look at down here. At that point, though, we could be looking at more premium, more likely than the 0.5 being broken. It's very possible that we can just hold above that. But until that when things happen, I will keep you guys updated. Now, the second, there's no specific order, but basically I'm looking for, we break this ascending support line. We finally start breaking micro supports, and we go down lower, and we just, prior to the meeting, and same thing, it can even happen like right when he announces it too. Like, there can be a short-term fear. It doesn't matter, gradual decrease or a sharp decrease, it doesn't matter. We come down into our very much strong overlapping support areas that I've showed you guys in previous videos on how I got these two. And then from there, we start seeing bullish momentum build up, creating a bottom, and we can finally start going up higher and hitting the next fib extension level at 128K. If this happens, so I'm looking to sell that BitU position if we go here, and then looking for a good opportunity to enter in once again with a fresh position. If we do, and this is what I most likely would like to see happen, we come down, regardless if this happens now, early next week, or right when he announced it doesn't matter. We come down and we are in this area. I'll be very heavily accumulating more into BitU, very aggressively buying, like probably like the longer we stay in this area, like 10K, $10,000 worth of those BitU shares every day or something like that. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I'm not overthinking it too much. I have eyes on much higher prices, and I can either sell now or it goes up, sell, and then buying at if we have bullish confirmation or not. If we come down, then I'll reopen the position, but it will be an opportunity for me to take short-term profit and then look for a good setup to continue. Or we come down and I can finally finish accumulating. I still have another 40,000 at least that I want to put into this trade. So I'll be able to finally finish accumulating at much more attractive prices, and it'll be an overall higher low. And then, from there, I'm just going to hold it until we go up higher. That's the idea of the swing trade. So in order for this to be invalidated, well, we go up higher, I'll just be selling. But if at that point, right, if we factor in from the low, the whole move higher until it tops out, I'll just be keeping track of it with another simple fib retracement for potential support. So, it can look, I'm going to jump in tomorrow in a moment as well, but it can look at something like Bitcoin goes up higher. I don't know, we reach like 23.5 as an example. Then we'll be looking for a potential opportunity for it to make a higher low, and then do something like this where kind of like, and this can also happen realistically with like, anticipation, or like the news happens, a little bit of fear after an announcement, and then we go up higher. Who knows what he's going to say? It doesn't, we all know that rates are pretty much going to stay the same. We're just wondering to see his tone and what else he says. Where I think the market is more interested in what else he says instead of the actual rate announcement at this point. But yeah, I'm not overthinking it. I'm keeping it super simple. I'm either selling here, accumulating here, and then if I accumulate here, I'll be going much higher. If I sell here, then I'm looking for an internal retracement as an opportunity to open the new trade, and then we'll go on from there, and I'll keep you guys updated. But it's as simple as that, right? There's no reason to overthink it. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not gonna try to like FOMO in and add more, because we don't know what he's gonna say. And as of right now, the value structures are simple. There's an overall retracement down here, so why would I add more? We're not seeing bullish momentum just yet. Like there's no reason to be more aggressive with the position. I'm conserving capital for a better deal so I can average in the trade, and then from there we'll just continue on with the rest of the bull cycle, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not overthinking it. I'm focused on the overall value structures. I'm just being patient. Next week is gonna be very, very interesting. Now, when it comes to Mara, and I've said this in many other videos, that I do not believe it is a good idea to purely trade Mara off of Bitcoin fluctuations, because you probably can't see. I need to like fix the quality, but Mara is down today, 1.7%, while Bitcoin was a little bit of a premium, and it actually pumped up BitU and even pumped up MSTR. But here's the thing, right? I kept saying like it's not a good idea. And if you guys zoom out on Bitcoin's chart and look at the bigger picture, weekly, monthly, or even yearly candles, you'll see that every bull market cycle top is lower for Mara, and that's because it's a growing company. There are cash flow, negatives and positives within it. Growing company, very much focused on their, improving their infrastructure than they are in pleasing the shareholder. This difference in value, causes it to trade in many different ways. And I kept saying in previous videos that any short, even if it's a small bit amount of weakness in Bitcoin, it can amplify in Mara. And next thing you know, we saw that exactly, like super aggressively. Like we had a big gap down. Now we're keeping track of it with an imbalance, freaking what's it called? Imbalance green rectangle that I drew there for you guys. We saw a big gap down due to a little bit of fear in Bitcoin. Just like, I kept saying that. And I kept saying that, like, I'm not a wizard or I can't tell the future, but I kept saying as of right now, Bitcoin is showing some weakness in the short term. It's looking to retrace. Um, it's more likely than not that we can potentially come into this red area, and that's exactly what happened now. So, going forward, the way I'm viewing Mara stock, and this is just my own opinion, and I can obviously be wrong, but what we're looking for right now is something similar. And this is purely due to Mara's fluctuation. The information I have here, this has nothing to do with what Bitcoin is doing. It's just coincidentally, it's gonna be a similar setup where, so we're in the premium of the red, right? We dip below $17.5, and we're in the discounted portion of the orange. This orange area, this retracement, the reason this is here, and I'm not just focused 100% on the overall retracement in red. And by the way, I mean, I'm not here to toot my own horn, but like, I've been calling buy areas very nicely in Mara and strong sell areas, with this imbalance being a sell area, this extension maxed out being a sell area. The next one is going to be in this area, but this can potentially change. I'm just waiting for this correction to finish. But we had really nice buying opportunities, great times to sell, nice retest for us to come back into it. And we can see something very similar here and it's not gonna be exactly the same, but like as you can see, Marasla comes down into the red accumulation area. It has a bullish fake out. As you can see, the swing high is not over this one, and it comes down, has a second retest, a bit more aggressively, actually hit the 0.5 retracement. Right now, the 0.5 retracement is at $15.68 on my charts. So what I'm looking for now is something similar, but it's not going to be as aggressive in my opinion. I am looking at, so actually I think I can okay, no, I don't have to. It's perfect. So this white retracement area overlaps very nicely with this imbalance area. And what I'm using this for is, for example, like we're in the discounted portion of the first wave. So if you guys like Elliott waves and all that, I mean, this is super sloppy, but basically, we're looking for a corrective wave higher. It doesn't matter if you consider this to be a first wave down, first, second, third wave, so 3 waves within it, or if you're considering this a first, second, this is the third wave, and now we're just a fourth wave correction, fifth wave to finish off the overall correction. They all lead in the same direction, so I really don't care. So what I'm focused on right now is Mara having a bullish fake out similar to what we saw back here, but it will probably be a lot more sharp. It will allow the price to fill in this imbalance, get rejected, come down. So it will use the discounted portion of the orange between 16.5 and 17.5. Using as support, we can see a little bit of a pump, a little bit of price action upward as Bitcoin kind of does this thing as it shows short-term fake bullish momentum before it finishes the correction, goes up higher. That's just my primary view. If it changes and there's bullish confirmation, I will let you guys know, and I'll adjust my trades accordingly. But basically, we have a pretty good area for support. The R side's bottomed out, so now we're looking for the R side to max out to the upside, which will be lower than these swing highs. It will actually pretty much overlap perfectly within this retracement and this imbalance area in green. What that would allow is the price to have an overall a little bit of a lower high before we see bearish momentum do its one more play, and it can be fluctuative. But basically, there's no reason to focus or worry about the noise. The idea is to see if the FOMC meeting will cause short-term weakness for the price, not just to, and this will be like the ultimate buying opportunity with this swing low being an SL, because the moment we break below $14.3, it's very likely like we can break below 13, and I mean we can even break below 1250 very easily. So the SL will be like right here at the swing low, 1340. But then TP will be up here, and this can take a while. This can take a week. This can take 2 weeks. It can take a month or two to come up into this area. We got to remember that it's not like Bitcoin. Bitcoin can make a new all-time high next week. Mara will not make a new all-time high next week, and it probably, even if Bitcoin does that, Mara, there's a good chance that it probably won't as quickly break over this swing high. So what I'm trying to say is similar to this spike here. Like this took a little bit. This took like multiple weeks, but then it paid off, right? And that's kind of what I'm looking for. Again, we're not gamblers. We have an SL in this area. The moment the price breaks below this structure in red, there's an increase in bearish momentum. We are using this as an SL to protect our position, conserve capital, and at that point, I'll be using a much a deeper retracement area as a deep value area due to short-term macroeconomic fear, causing the price to go down lower. See, there's an explanation behind everything. So it's basically, we go up. There's an opportunity for a short-term trade right here. We can see, like, even tomorrow, the last trading day of the week, we can see a little bit more weakness, potentially coming down to 1650. But the idea is that any price higher, just be careful. Don't be FOMO'd. Look at signs. Like, is this actually sustainable? Because there's a good chance it could just be a bullish fake out, overall lower high before we come down one more lower low. And then from there, it'll be much more attractive. Mara below 1570, ideally below 15.65. And then from there, we're just hanging out, waiting to see if the SL gets triggered, or we do TPs up here in this area over the 20s once again. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll keep you guys updated, and take care.